Plenty of great quarterbacks in this draft class, and the market keeps changing. March 29, Trey Lance the favorite to be the third overall pick. Then, Mac Jones, prohibitive favorite as of April 8. Now, Justin Fields, minus 110. So, Simms, you're the one that drove the needle to Mac Jones being minus 200.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, and I don't know what caused Fields to be. Was it just his pro day workout? Pro day workout, and there wasn't one of those throws that made Kyle Shanahan have that Larry David moment where you cue the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme song with the overthrow, but Ohio State was very selective about what was allowed to be seen coming out of the Justin Fields pro day. But I think it was the reaction to that pro day that caused people to push Fields back up to the top of the stack from a betting standpoint.
It seems to be that, the fact that Shanahan was there for that workout, the fact that people think because Shanahan and Justin Fields were at a camp together 4 years ago, that means something there that way. So, again, it's going to be interesting to see where this all goes. It really is. Where my money still is at this point, but it's fun to watch kind of the markets flip and the conversation go. And there's a lot of heated conversations over this number 3 pick right now in sports media. That's for sure.
What we're going to do for now, we're going to take the name of the quarterback and match him with the team, regardless of draft order. We're not going to try to crack the code on how the names come off the board. Just right now, gut feeling, Justin Fields, where do you think he ends up? Which team?
I'm really in a tough spot here. I don't know. I don't. I don't think it's going to happen at number 3 as you know. I don't think it's going to happen at number 4 with Atlanta. Right? I look at that. I don't know. In my heart of hearts, I don't see Denver going quarterback at number 9. I just don't. I feel like, man, it's Vic Fangio. Does he want to deal with a rookie quarterback situation? I mean, he's going to get fired if they do that this year. That's over. So I don't look at it that way. Okay, so I know I'm supposed to give you a quick answer here, but I'm kind of flushing this out. I mean, then I start to think about, all right, New England at 15, Washington at 19. The Steelers at 24, and of course these teams can move up, for a trade at some point or do that. I feel like he's not a New England guy. That's just how I feel there. Will Washington really take another Ohio State quarterback after the Dwayne Haskins conversation? Do you think they would do that? I don't know. For my heart of hearts, I want to say Pittsburgh. He ends up in Pittsburgh, makes a play to move up a little bit, and then get Justin Fields. Something. That's what I'm saying.
Now, if Pittsburgh loves him, okay, they'll go get him because they have traded up for guys they loved.
Right.
Troy Polamalu, Santonio Holmes, Devin Bush. They trade up to get the guys they love. So if they really do love him, I don't rule that out. I think it's simpler than that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think you're missing the obvious one. And this is a little bit of psychoanalysis on my part, but
Detroit?
I firmly believe Detroit is going to take him.
Okay.
Because number one, Chris Spielman, whatever his specific title is, assistant to the traveling secretary, special advisor to the owner. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I know he's got a lot of juice. And he's got a strong personality. And now, so does Dan Campbell. And remember, the true sign of an alpha is to know when to back down and concede and know that another alpha has made the decision. But I think the Ohio State connection, I think Spielman's going to be privy to more information about Fields than the rest of us, and it's going to be good information about Justin Fields. And I also think Spielman, he's not going to admit it, but Jared Goff, this guy, not my kind of guy. And I think Jared Goff is a Band-Aid that they took on the contract. They're spending the money. They picked up an extra first-round draft pick to get him. Let's not forget that. 2 1s and a 3 to take on Jared Goff and to give up Matthew Stafford. I think they're looking for their future, and I think it's going to be very difficult if Fields is there at 7 for Spielman to say no. That's where I think he's going to go with the Lions.
Well, it's a possibility. You lay it out the right way. I mean, you do. I'm really interested to see if they do go that route, kind of like what you're talking about, to make that move for Jared Goff. Yeah, the money they're going to be paying him. I understand that, the Rams, took some of that burden. But I know this is one of those where I'm not sure where Detroit goes there. I'm really not sure where they go with this conversation. So I look at that, and I don't know where Justin Fields ends up either. I really don't. I think it's going to be really interesting, and I think that's where there could be some major play here in the first round, because what if a guy like him is on the board? But all right, you say Lions, I'm saying Steelers later on in the round.
All right, Mac Jones, do we need any time? Can we bank our time from this one? I know what we're both going to say.
Yeah, I'm going Mac Jones. There's no doubt about it.
You're going 49ers.
I'm going 49ers, Mac Jones, without a doubt, 100%. I haven't changed my thought of that at all. Definitely not. Listen, I feel in like my heart of hearts, of course I feel like it's Mac Jones. From the history of knowing my friend, from the simple fact that I don't think you trade up that far in the draft to go after two guys who, have a lot of talent, and Trey Lance and Justin Fields, but there's definitely some major questions about them too. Like, they're real. And to me, Mac Jones is kind of like a ready-to-go, proven commodity and fits, I think, the mold of what Shanahan wants at the quarterback position. So, yes, I think Mac Jones, 49ers all the way.
I don't think that Kyle Shanahan makes a decisive move a month before the draft unless he knows damn well who he wants.
Right.
I think back to 2006 when Mike Shanahan traded up to get Jay Cutler during the draft while the pick was on the clock. That is just both hilarious and disturbing.
It is.
But that's what he had to do to get Cutler. You don't move to that spot ahead of time because there's no guarantee the board's going to fall your way. Kyle doesn't have to worry about how the board's going to fall. He knows how the board's going to fall. Lawrence, Wilson, 1, 2.
Yeah.
The guy I want, I'm going up to get. He didn't go up to get the third overall pick so he could spend the next month saying, I got the third overall pick. Hey, what am I going to do with it? We'll figure that out later.
Right.
You don't give up 3 1s and a 3 to go up for, we'll evaluate the 3 guys who are up there now and pick the best one. No. You already know before you make the move. There's no way you make that move without knowing, Chris.
No, agreed. Like, I don't think you make that move unless you're, basically 95, 98% like positive that's what you want to do. I do. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I like this guy. I'm going to do this. I'm going to continue to do my homework on the other guys because, there's some like big time talent traits there. There's no doubt about that. Do my homework, do my due diligence. But I would think, yes, you don't make that move unless you got your eye on somebody to go, wait, that's the guy I want. I want to make it for that guy. Yeah, you might like the whole group as a whole. Okay, I understand that. That gives you a little cushion. But I would think one guy was in mind when it came to making that trade. And that's where, I still go to Mac Jones. And, where people got to bought back like Mac Jones, I understand. People think like, hey, face level to face level, Justin Fields, he's an Adonis. Mac Jones looks weird in his uniform. Looks like nerdy white man can't jump guy. I mean, that's what it looks like. It's tough. I get that. Fields has a rocket right arm, but it can be totally inaccurate at times. He is a great athlete. Where you go, Mac Jones is, probably the most accurate passer in the draft. Probably the best decision maker in the draft, as far as moving in the pocket and manipulating the pocket that way. It's him or Zach Wilson as far as the best in the draft at that. Pro ready, done all the schemes, everything like that. So it's all of that added together that gives Mac Jones kind of the eliteness of his game. Maybe not one thing, but it's a lot of real good that lets him play the position at an elite level. And I think that's where people are, at least in my opinion, misjudging him a little bit.
Trey Lance thrown again today for scouts. That's Pro Day 1. Pro Day 2 coming up. All of these guys are having multiple Pro Days because you can't do private workouts this year. Atlanta Falcons reportedly sending the full contingent. Chris, do you match Trey Lance with the Falcons or someone else?
And again, the Falcons, I just look at it and I just feel like they're going to stand pat with Matt Ryan for another few years. Again, that's kind of the way I envision it. Where he's at in his career. Like we talked a little last week about this, Mike. He's got, I would think, at least two or three really quality years there to play like high-level football. And he fits within the offense of which Arthur Smith just ran with Ryan Tannehill in Tennessee. That's where I just think it matches. So, no, with Trey Lance, I think the team I'm going to match him with as we sit here right now, at least, 10 days out from the draft, the New England Patriots. That's where I'm going to put Trey Lance. I could totally see him on the board around 8 or 9 and New England making a move to go up and get him. I think it's a perfect spot. The team's built to kind of play that type of football, and he can sit behind Cam Newton and kind of grow as a player. Hey, Trey Lance, we don't know what he is as a guy yet. He hasn't played a lot of football, as we talked about. So, he needs some time to sit behind somebody and grow.
Here's the key phrase from Peter King's Football Morning in America as it relates to the Falcons and Trey Lance.
Right.
What I'm hearing, Peter writes, owner Arthur Blank is fascinated by the quarterbacks atop the draft, thinking the franchise might not be in such an advantageous position to take one for years. But Blank will not force a decision of that, I am sure. Peter and I have debated that topic, I think it was 10 days ago, where and how Arthur Blank will put his thumb on the scale. I continue to believe that one of the billionaire privileges is you don't have to force a decision. There's a subtlety, there's a nuance to making what you want known, and I continue to believe 2008, Falcons were leaning Glenn Dorsey with the 3rd overall pick. Remember him?
Sure.
Arthur Blank wanted Matt Ryan. Arthur Blank got Matt Ryan. I don't think he forced the pick. He had a new regime then, new GM, new head coach, Thomas Dimitroff, Mike Smith. Didn't force anything. But what the owner or the Arthur wants, the owner or the Arthur gets.
Yeah.
And I think he wants one of these quarterbacks, and I think it's going to be Lance.
Okay. All right. So you think they're going to go that? I mean, they're of course have like the keys to the draft right now, sitting there at number 4. They could do that, or they could take a Kyle Pitts. Somebody like that, and add him to Julio and Calvin Ridley and Matt Ryan, and you go, oh, watch out, that offense could be one of the best in football. I mean, it'll be interesting. They certainly have some flexibility. I don't know. Maybe if they got a feel that they could trade down just a little bit of a ways, if there was somebody that wanted to get to 4 for some other type of player, like a Kyle Pitts or maybe a Penny Sewell or something like that. Maybe if they could trade down a few spots and still get Trey Lance, maybe that does happen. I don't know. I'm really interested to see what Atlanta does with that pick for sure.
You're right. They could trade down. I'm thinking they could trade down to a team that wants a quarterback. They could also trade down to a team that wants Sewell before the Bengals can get him at 5. That's another thing you can do.
Right.
But you're running the risk if you slide down.
Yes.
Trey Lance may not be there, and you may get jumped by the Patriots or someone else as Lance is working his way toward.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.